Welcome to Comment with me, George Galloway, here on Press TV, the voice of the voiceless. Every week at this time, bringing you the big conversation, bringing you the great debate. But it can only be a debate, of course, if you join in. That's why, above all, I need your telephone calls on 44208 601 4555. Or you can SMS the show on 4478 00008066. Or email us at comment@presstv.co.uk. Well, another Iranian academic has been murdered in broad daylight in the main street in Tehran. People ask me, who's behind this? I say those American politicians that were openly, in public, live on television, calling for the murder of other people's citizens, other people's academics, just a few weeks ago in the Republican presidential debates. I say the International Atomic Energy Agency, which despite Iran's appeal not to, published the names of all of Iran's nuclear scientists so that the murderers could go through the names one by one and cruelly murder them. They call it terrorism, you know, when it's other people who do it. But when Israel and the United States and their allies are behind such a dastardly, murderous conspiracy, well, probably won't be much mentioned on other people's news this evening. And another Abu Ghraib scandal has broken. Pictures have emerged, apparently showing 4 US Marines urinating on the dead bodies of what they describe in the news as Taliban. Though when I look at the pictures, I see very small figures bearing no weapons anywhere in sight and with a working wheelbarrow at the feet of the slain individuals. I'm actually not buying this discussion as being about American Marines urinating on dead Taliban, despicable, dastardly, and a war crime though that would be. I say these poor Afghans were murdered and then urinated on by the finest of the forces of the land of the free, the home of the brave, the United States of America. In Bahrain, of course, where the US Fifth Fleet is based and which is home to thousands of US military personnel, the dictatorship there continues to gun down the democracy protesters. But we got a clue in the week as to one of the reasons why people are so quiet about it. It turns out that members of Britain's royal family have had jewels stuffed down their mouths to keep them quiet. Yes, the Countess of Wessex. There's blood on those jewels, ma'am. You might want to consider giving them back. And in Saudi Arabia, as they call it, they're still shooting down those marching for simple rights, like the right of women to drive cars, like the right of men and women to have votes, to have rights, of which there are none in what they call Saudi Arabia. And in Yemen, people are still marching, saying that the deal that was given to departing President Ali Abdullah Saleh amounts to a license to kill, and that he should not be given immunity from prosecution for the crimes of him and his regime. I want your views on all of these subjects. These are, of course, only my views. They're not Press TV's views. Still less are they the views of the government of Iran or any other government. And moreover, if you have different views, your call, your SMS, your email will be prioritized. Let's go to London, talk to John about Iran. John, welcome to the show, my friend.
Yeah. I just want to talk about the Iran issue.
The murder of the scientists, yeah?
Yes. In fact, to be honest with you, I'm not surprised because I've seen the evidence right from the debate in America. So it's not something surprising. The only thing I can just say is for me to tell the Iranian government to please put more security on their scientists. And I'm also appealing to the Iranian people to please come together as one. Unity cannot be divided. But once there is division in the house, they can bring them down. But I pray, inshallah, the youth will see reason to the government. They want to place Iran in where they belong in the whole world. Good luck. I love Iran people. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, John. What a marvelous call. We will be showing a bit of the footage of the debate that John referred to, in which the presidential hopefuls on the Republican side were, well, outbidding each other on how many crimes they would commit against Iran. And it is something that you would have thought that those who are forever talking about terrorism would have a lot to say on. I wonder, Mr. Ofcom, how this subject is being portrayed on other broadcasts, on other television stations. And I wonder if you have a care about people who apparently condone murder, who apparently condone the murder of unarmed civilian university academics. These men are university lecturers. Can you imagine if, God forbid, university lecturers in Britain, in London, were being murdered in the street by bombs attached to their cars? And if, God forbid, Iran had published a list of their names just previously, and if, God forbid, Iranian politicians were openly discussing the need to murder British scientists in London, can you imagine what a news story that would be? And then compare and contrast the virtual silence on the Ofcom regulated so-called mainstream media on the same subject. Let's take a look on the comment wall at what I'm talking about.
First of all, maximum covert operations to block and disrupt the Iranian program, including taking out their scientists, including breaking up their systems, all of it covertly, all of it deniable. Second, maximum coordination with the Israelis in a way which allows them to maximize their impact in Iran. Third, absolute strategic program comparable to what President Reagan, Pope John Paul II, and Margaret Thatcher
I'm going to repeat myself now, just before I bring in Adnan. Can you imagine if that footage had shown President Ahmadinejad or any other of the Iranian leaders making that comment, followed a week or so later by the murder of American or British scientists? Can you imagine what would happen? And yet, it's just happened the other way round in Iran, and the silence is momentously telling. Let's talk to Adnan in London on the same subject. Adnan, welcome to the show.
Yeah, hello George, how are you?
Well, I'm angry about the killing of this scientist, to be perfectly honest.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. May Allah give Jannah to the Iranian scientist. He's a martyr for all of Islam. Secondly, what I think are three or four countries involved. You've got the United States, Israel. There's probably rogue elements of the CIA who done this. The actual CIA probably were withering. They were like, no, it's not the right time yet. You've got rogue elements with Mossad, official Mossad agents, and you've got one or two neutral countries who done the reconnaissance, like basically collecting information, how to enter the country and all this type of thing. That way it's plausibly deniability, you can say that. Secondly, they've got this Cold War. It's like a Cold War on British Muslims and Cold War against any state which says has a majority Muslim population. And I'd advise you to read the Examination of Policy Exchange and the Center for Social Cohesion by Tom Mills, and that would be very good if you could do that. Thirdly, I've written to human rights organizations about my case, which is to do with covert psychological
We did discuss
organization.
that, Adnan,
Yeah.
before, and we can't go into individual cases, I'm afraid. You'll have to forgive me on that. Let's go all the way to Switzerland and talk to Mohammed on the subject of Iran. Mohammed, welcome to the show.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening. You're on the air. What would you like to say, Mohammed?
Actually, I would like to make some comments about recent assassination in Iran.
Yes.
Yes, I just can't say that shame on IAEA because 2 days
They were warned by Iran, by the way. Mohammed, they were warned by Iran not to publish these names because it would make the murderer's job more easy. And so it has turned out to be. There's blood on the hands of the IAEA this evening.
Yes, because actually it works such as, let me say, agency for intelligence agency of UK or US, and just give them the information of Lebanese scientists. Actually, it's expected from Israel or UK or US to assassinate Lebanese scientists. But all Iranian people can be potentially Mohammadi, Shahriari, or even Ahmadi. All Iranian people do and follow their works, and I think that it's near to arrogance will step down, and we can see, for example, these days Islamic awakening and all arrogance.
Okay, I got your point, Mohammed, and thanks for making it. Let's go back to London, talk to Adam on Iran. Adam, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, George. I'll be very pleased if today you would allow me some time to talk because it's been a while. And
last week?
Yes. Thank you very much, George. Let's look at the whole scenario and the policy of the American towards the Middle East, particularly on Iran. Any country that is trying to be an independent country under this world, America and its allies, i.e. the British, French, would do everything within their means to bring the country to its knees.
Exactly.
But I think...
Like Venezuela, for example. It doesn't even have to be a Muslim country.
Yes,
it doesn't have to be a Muslim country. Venezuela, Cuba, anybody who's not prepared to bow the knee to them, they're ready to do what they can to break it.
Yes, take a critical look at 1960s, when Ghana had its independence, and Ghana was doing very well. America and its allies did everything necessary to bring the country to its knees by killing the former president, giving selfish people in the country money to stage a coup to evict Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and Ghana is now where it is today.
Exactly. They destroyed Kwame Nkrumah, they murdered Patrice Lumumba, they installed the Mobutu Sese Seko, who became the biggest thief of the 20th century, stealing more than $30 billion in the Congo.
George, you see, with all these things, look at the policies of America, either Republicans or Democrats. They have the same policy. Look at what the Republicans were saying. We will cooperate, fully help Israel to bring the Iranian scientists, to sabotage the Iranian nuclear program.
Yeah, and to murder their scientists. He said it.
They will murder the scientists. They will sponsor insurgents in the country. This tells people that the bombing going on in Iraq, the bombing going on in Afghanistan, the killing in Syria, and the killings in Libya were done by the Americans, the British, and the Israelis. That is what they want to do in Iran.
Well, it doesn't mean that they all were, but it does mean that some of them could have been. That's absolutely right. Adam, it'll be a long time till next Thursday, and I'll talk to you again then. Thanks as always for a wonderful call. Let's go to Bedford in England, talk to Ali on the disgusting video of the desecration of the dead Afghans. Yes.